Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to be here with this video. Not only is it my first, I think it's going to be my first speaking video, but also I'm very excited because it's a topic that actually brought me on YouTube. I actually made YouTube, or intended to make YouTube, after I got my house and I thought, oh my gosh, I'd love to share this with people, this experience. That was 2 years ago, guys. A whole 2 years ago. So I'm here 2 years later to share with you guys. It's only right at the 2 years anniversary to share this with you guys, because I promised so many of you guys who have messaged me in my DMs, some of you who know, and I've given you advice there, but I think it's only fair to share it, spread the love so we can all win, you know. So yeah, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be telling you guys some tips and some tricks, and I guess a step-by-step pathway to getting your own mortgage. So if you are interested in getting your own mortgage, buying a house, all of that good stuff, then stay watching, get a drink, get a notebook, you know, and get comfortable. A guide, but I also want to make a disclaimer before I start this video, because there are many routes to getting a mortgage, so many routes, right? And the route I'm going to be talking about is through the bank, going through the bank to obtain your mortgage. There are also different types of houses, so the type of property you're going for may make the journey a little bit different. Listen to it, but just don't take what I'm saying as gospel. All I'm saying is that this process worked for me. I mean, if you're not going through the bank, you can decide that you want to go through a broker instead of using the bank. That's another thing you might have to research. Or perhaps you might already have a council property, a council place, and if you want to buy that, you might get rights to buy that and inquire through the council. That again is a different route. So I've got a very easy acronym that I've come up with, guys. Yes, I'm a bit of a nerd. I've actually come up with an easy acronym for you guys, so thank me later. The acronym is Espresso. Follow this acronym, okay? First letter, E. E stands for end. You're probably wondering, why am I talking about the end before I've even started? When I say end, I'm referring to putting an end to your silly spending habits. You have to stop. You have to cut it out. You have to. For me, it was going out to eat. I was constantly going out to eat, going to expensive restaurants. It's not necessary. There is rice and stew at home.
There is rice and stew at home.
Your expensive shopping trips, your expensive garments, your expensive lifestyle, going out and spending how much on a night out, stop it. It's not necessary. It's not doing anything for you. Think about the end goal, think about the future, think about where you're going to be, and let that motivate you. So, first word, end. Word 2 on the acronym is S. S for save. This is the time when you got to save. Put your coin away. Put that money away, girl. You know, you need to find what works for you in terms of saving. It may be that you want to open up an ISA or a help to buy scheme, or you want to just save the old-fashioned way. My personal discipline, what I did was as soon as I got paid, every single payday, I had a direct debit going from one account to another account on actual payday of £1,000, boom, every month. And so I wasn't getting too comfortable with the idea of having my full paycheck. No, like my paycheck was whatever I had left from the £1,000, which was tight. Guys, I kid you not, it was tight, but you would have not known. I tried and I tried and I tried. I tried to keep it cute. I had to like not go to certain things and really consider my pockets. Mind you, I'm probably still doing that now for other reasons, but regardless, I think it's an important skill to do. Regardless, you saving, being able to save is a lifelong skill. There's different times and different points in your life when you're gonna have to exercise it, and this is one of them. So definitely find what works for you. Start saving your coin. Next thing on my acronym is pray. Pray, pray, pray. Now this you can skip if you're not, if you don't believe in anything, but personally for me, this process would not have been possible or as smooth as it was without prayer, without God, because I just feel like He made the impossible possible. Like literally, even if you've got credit issues, whatever issues you have, because personally for me, my credit shouldn't have been that great, but somehow God made a miracle, and I prayed on it. I definitely prayed on it. I fasted. I went to God and said, this is what I want to do. Can you help me? I can't do it alone. I went into the scripture. I read different parts of the Bible where God actually just performed miracles and stuff, because my mortgage process was actually only 2 months long. That's really quick, guys. It was literally only 2 months. I started searching for a house. Within 2 weeks, I viewed about 4 houses on one day, made my offer. 2 days later, they were like, yeah, we accept your offer. If that isn't God, then I don't know what is. And that was it. That was literally it for me. So that might not necessarily be your story. It does come with ups and downs, trust me. However, prayer was key for me. So I would advise that you definitely take that step. The next step that I would say that you need to do is R for research. Research is, I say this very loosely, right? In this stage, you're going to be looking roughly at houses in the area, what location you might want to live in, and what kind of house you might be looking for, and the general price range, right? I'm saying this loosely once again. Do not get married to the idea of a home that you want, because you actually don't know what you don't know what your budget is. You might have saved a certain amount of money and you think it's enough. You might have saved 5,000, 10,000, let's say you saved, and you think, okay, I'm gonna start looking at houses, and and the houses you're looking at are like 3 bedrooms and it's 250,000, and you're thinking, should be all right. Girl, slow your road. You don't know. Generally have an idea, make some notes, see what you like, but just be flexible, because you never know what the bank is going to say. I'll explain that later, but be flexible and get a rough idea. So this is the research stage. The next stage I would suggest is E for enquiries. This is where you inquire at the banks, right? And I say banks plural because there's nothing wrong with going to more than one bank, and you don't have the bank with the bank. You go with the bank you choose. So I went to a few banks. I would advise you do it. It's not going to affect your credit. It's only a soft credit check. But this stage is where you go to the bank and you get an appointment and you ask for a mortgage promise. They give you a mortgage promise, or is it called a mortgage in principle? And what that basically is a letter that tells you and your lender, the solicitors and everyone involved in your mortgage process, that you have found a bank who are happy to give you X amount of money towards your mortgage. This stage is really important, by the way. Remember, a mortgage is like, if we break it down into easy terms, a mortgage is like a big fat loan where you're not able to pay for a house straight up. So you go and approach someone else, which in this case is the bank, to kind of help you in the process, and they would obviously give you money towards it. They're not giving you all the money, but they're only giving you some, and this is where your deposit comes into play. Now, what the bank wants to see is that, can we trust this person enough to give them this massive amount of money towards a house? Are they financially capable of keeping up their payments over a certain amount of years? What does their spending look like now? You know, what is their income now? There's a lot of questions, a lot of things the bank want to know before they invest in you. So in this appointment with the bank, they're going to ask you a range of questions. They're going to ask you for a few documents, like your P60 or your bank statements and stuff, and it gets computer generated. Everything gets logged into the computer about your spending and all that kind of stuff, and the computer generates a cost that the bank is going to offer you based on everything they've gathered. That includes your age, your profession, because they want to know, are you going to be getting consistent money? Are you self-employed? If you're self-employed, there's going to be ups and downs. Or do you work for an agency, so you're not always going to be in employment? Or do you have a permanent job? All these parts of the question, I promise you, they have. So you now use the figure that they've given you as a general kind of guideline as to what your budget is for a house. Now imagine if you started looking for houses and you got too carried away, and they told you, you went to the bank and they told you, we can only offer you 100,000. But you were looking at houses at 300,000 and 400,000 thinking, oh, it's not too bad, it's outside of London, it should be all right. And the bank's telling you, we're only going to be able to give you this amount. You're going to be gutted, which is why in the research stage, you've got to take it easy. You have to just get a general idea, but not get too carried away, because you don't really know what the bank is going to say. Right. So once you are done with that stage, you then get a piece of paper, which is almost like a letter from this bank. Let's say the bank is, I'm going to say a bank's name. So we're saying that we're going to offer you 100,000 towards your mortgage. You then now have a piece of paper to show to a landlord or whoever you're buying a house from, or an agent, a housing agent, to say, I like this house, I want this house, I'm ready, here's my mortgage in principle. Like, personally, I think that really works, because it shows that you're on it, like you are ready, compared to other people who might be, you know, interested in the house. They might have not taken that step already, but you have taken initiative, you're on it. That's how I'll definitely advise that. The next stage is S for solicitors. So £3,000 for a solicitor. This is because the solicitor is the person who kind of like puts the deal together, because a mortgage is obviously a legal deal, so it needs to be done legally. So that solicitor would get all the searches done, make sure the home is safe, make sure it's worth the money that you're going to pay. They get people out to look at the house, to check the pipes. You know, they do the background checks and check the person who's selling the house, make sure everything is legitimate. That costs a lot of money, right? So, but whatever you have saved, make sure you have another, or take out 3K for solicitors, roughly. The next part, guys, is the fun part, which is searching for your house. This part is really fun, but also can be quite stressful, but I'll get into that in a minute. When you're looking for your house, it's now such a breeze, because you actually know exactly your budget, because you've got the mortgage in principle. It tells you, for example, we're going to give you 100K towards your house. So you know that when you're looking for houses, you're going to add the 100K to whatever your deposit is, and that gives you the price of the house you're looking for. So if you say 50K, the house that you're looking for is roughly around 150k. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. What I would say you should do is leave some leeway, because you might make an offer on a house and somebody else might make a higher offer, and it gets a bit sticky and you might have to increase your offer. So give it some leeway in terms of what your budget is, right? As you search for your house, you know, go and do viewings, look at the area, and now you can basically kind of, what's the word? Expand on your research that you've done earlier, because now you're actually at a place where you're ready to get a house. Don't forget though that the mortgage in principle expires within a certain time. I can't remember because I haven't done any research for this video, but I believe it was 2 months. That mortgage in principle lasted for 2 months only. So in the 2 months, you need to get a house and use that piece of paper, because if not, it expires. And once it expires, you'd have to go and do the assessment again. Now, if you have to go and do that assessment again, be mindful that the figure the bank come up with might be very different from the figure you already got. Why? Because things have moved on financially for you. Anything could have happened, so the figure might change. And I experienced that as well. The bank told me that they were going to offer me a particular amount, and then in the process, after I got my mortgage in principle, in the process of doing the mortgage process, my student loan started coming out, and that obviously had an effect on me, because now I had an additional cost coming out of my pay. So they noticed that when they got my most recent bank statement, and they were like, oh, okay, we have to do the checks again. Did the checks again, and then they said, we're going to give you less money than what we were actually going to give you. So things can happen, things can change. So this is why it's really important to have a little bit of leeway in terms of have some extra money, basically, long story short. Yeah, so you can expand on your search, you can look at different areas, possibly even out of London. You know, maybe you want a fresh new start. Out of London is a good investment. You don't even have to live there. You might just want to buy it and rent it out. Remember, the goal is just to get on the ladder. It might not be what you envisioned for your house. The kitchen might be too small, or the living room might not be as big as you wanted, or you might have wanted a drive and there's no drive. Compromise. The next stage is offer. This is where you make an offer on a house. You might have viewed different houses and you like whichever one you like, make your offer. Now for me, what I experienced is that the houses here, or the agencies here, they had open days for each of the houses, and if you were interested, you'd come down on a particular day. It was a Saturday, and a lot of people would come and view. So one of the houses I viewed, there was probably they said there was 50 people who viewed it on that day. So you go and make your offer. You go and view the house, and then if you like it and you're interested, you make your offer roughly around the price that they've generally given you. Please also be mindful that you could make an offer and somebody else could make a higher offer, and they might come to you and say, well, somebody else you might think it's for you, but somebody else has made a higher offer, and they might change their mind and say they're going to go with that person. But I pray that's not your portion. I pray not your portion, because it's really not fair. The agency I use, where my house was advertised on an agency called Good Move, not Right Move, Good Move. What I love about this agency, first of all, is they're online, so I didn't have like an actual shop or building that I could go to, which was a little bit daunting for me. But what I do love about them is that they had a policy that if you make an offer and we accept your offer, we're not going to allow anybody else to make an offer. They basically secure your offer and the house is yours and it is sold to you. I love that, because some other agencies will tell you, yeah, we accept your offer, or the owner accepts your offer and the house will be sold to you. However, down the line within the process, somebody could come along and literally be like, oh, I think maybe I can give you 250. Meanwhile, your offer was 200, and they'll be like, okay, sorry, we're gonna go with her, and everything falls through the roof, and that house is no longer going to be yours. You won't lose any money, but it is annoying because, you know, your hopes, you had your hopes up, and then it's kind of been torn apart. So I love the fact that Good Move don't do that. Once the offer is there, it is yours. They take it off the web. Well, it's on the website, but it says sold. It's gone. Like, nobody can have it. Whatever the case is for you, I pray that the house is yours. No wahala. The solicitor would explain to you what you need to bring, and you know, you would liaise with the solicitor, liaise with the agency, and get all the paperwork together and all the signatures and everything they need. You just follow whatever they tell you to do, and before you know it, the house will be yours. Before you know it, you will be signing off paperwork, and then the house will be yours. That is my step to step.
I feel happy, I feel grateful, and I feel fulfilled. I'm happy because I never expected it, but God gave it to me. I'm grateful to Him.
Guys, my battery died. I'm so sorry. I think I got to the end of the video.